about it, and he can tell you about it.
If we're going to do tit for tat, I can count the number of times on two hands that Jerry's been over here.
Well, and that may very well be, but, and it may just be gathering information or whatever.
When it comes to a major crime like that, we're investigating we think he may have a dead body, that's pretty important. You would be the first guy I called before I ever left my office, because you're the sheriff.
And I would call you if it was in your county. It was in the city where he had that information.
What I'm telling you, Wayne, if it was in Twin Falls City, Buell City, or Twin Falls County proper, you would still be the first person I called. You're the sheriff. You're responsible for felony crimes.
Shaun, I don't know that I can believe you when you say that, because there have been other things that you have not told me about. Well, we might as well get the doggone stuff out on the table, with all this drug money and all this stuff. Whoever, we're not accusing anybody at this point, but we got some pretty shady shit going on with this federal forms and everything, because you and I had an agreement, and the agreement was that we would have a drug team. Right. And that when it was in your county, we would work it, and your case person was in charge.
Right.
All the expenses would come out, and then it would be divided after. If it's in my county, the same situation. And guess what?
What?
The federal paperwork was changed somehow, and I don't know how the hell it was changed, but we're looking into it. Because you got $40,000, even though some of that may be some other cases, 49, and we only got 29, and we're piecing all the pieces of paper together now.
What about cars, motorcycles, tractors?
All that's been split with you. The motorcycle and
how can it be split when you haven't even sold it?
Oh, the car and the motorcycle are still in Boise. The marshals have that, and they haven't sold it yet. But all of the other stuff that was sold, you got money off of.
Like what?
And I can show you the check. You got $5,000 where Captain Nescaba talked to you about that and said, this is what we've sold on the Worley case. And that's all we've sold, period. And that's basically what we've done on that Worley case yet. The motorcycle was picked up.
Worley when the feds took it all.
The feds took the stuff they weren't supposed to. This is what they took that they weren't supposed to take. And it was done before I finally got involved and put a damn deal on it, because Sam Gibb went right to the motorcycle company, what we're finding out with the Fed guy, and told the motorcycle guy to turn it over to the feds, and we got an order that said that was ours, along with the car. And that ended up in Boise with the marshals, and it hasn't been sold yet. This whole case has been a piece of shit from the beginning, and we've had to get our civil attorney involved on several occasions to deal with the feds and to try to ferret this out. And I'm just letting you know right now, Shaun, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but we're looking into it, because we've got the original paperwork that we signed with the feds, and the way it was filled out, and the paperwork that the feds ended up with is different. Now, who did it and how it happened, I don't know. But I would nowhere near have went to the feds and said, hey, I worked this case with Sheriff Tousley, and I want this percentage, without you knowing about it. And that's exactly what happened.
I certainly didn't do that.
Well, then you better...
That said what percentage we were going to get.
Then you better be talking to somebody about it, because somebody did it, and it wasn't our guys.
The problem we've got is Edberg's no longer there.
Well, there's an issue with this case, and we sent you 2 letters, and you never even responded to the letters.
Sitting on my desk. Well, first of all, my name wasn't even spelled right, so I wasn't sure if it was coming to me or not.
Well,
did you ever read those letters before you sent it?
Yes, I did. I read both of them. Now, how they were addressed, as far as the letters, they were in good shape, and they basically, the first one was just saying, hey, Shaun, we got some issues here, let's get together and talk.
Well, I should have sent you letters a long time ago, Wayne, because I never saw Derek for 2 years.
That's not my problem. He was supposed to report to you.
Twin.
He was supposed to report to you.
He's always in Twin, helping you guys. Always, every day. Every day.
His wife was over here, and I told Rob to say to those guys, keep an eye on that situation. I had nothing to do with supervising those 2. Rob had to do with supervising, and if Derek hung out over here, I didn't know he was hanging out over here.
They were working. He told me every day what he was doing. They were working drug cases. Every day.
I think we can pull the cases and see which ones he worked and which ones he didn't, Shaun.
Please do, Wayne. Please, I beg you to do it.
I'm going to have the captain do it.
Yeah. Pull them all.
We'll pull them because he may have been over here.
And we'll compare those to his notices and see where we went astray at.
We're in the process of getting all of the original paperwork from the marshal's office on this, or not the marshal's office, the feds, the DEA, and trying to see where this paperwork got screwed up. And like I say, I'm not accusing anybody at this point, but with our agreement in place, and I've even talked to the Attorney General, Tom Moss, I said, hey, we had a local agreement in place. The agreement was if we worked cases back and forth, we would be dividing that money. And why would I want to file a damn federal paper that circumvented our agreement that said you're going to get paid before the case was even done with? The first time I found out of that is when Linda called me and said, hey, Tom wants to come down and present a check. And I said, oh, yeah, for how much? Well, $29. And they're going to do it to Shaun Gough, too. And I said, oh, yeah, what's the deal? Well, he's getting money on the Worley case. And I'm going, whoa, wait a minute here. Now, that circumvented our local agreement, Shaun.
Okay.
And so whoever did it, whether it was Sam in her process of leaving here because of certain situations or however the paperwork worked out, it happened. And I'm just saying that there's some stuff that happened here and people weren't watched really well. And I don't know what Walker was doing if he claimed he was over here all that time, but the captain's going to pull all of the drug cases from that history and let you know what the situation is.
I'm going to call up Derek and have him look at his notes because he's got them all tracked. He knows what he did. So.
Well, that's fine. But I'm just saying that if he was over here for 2 years straight, I don't know where he was at. Now, he may have been working with these guys, and they may have been working cases. It was Walker and Gibb that did most of the work, because Jerry did hardly anything. In fact, they wouldn't even inform him on what was going on half the time. And they were out working these cases. So, yeah, there's cases that we worked over there with you. Rob would tell me they're over in Gooding today, or even sometimes in Jerome. But at best, that's why we severed the agreement, because I felt uncomfortable about the situation, and I didn't like the situation with the husband and wife team working it. And Sam knew that. Rob knew that. I don't know if Derek knew that, but and we weren't getting any response. Once Sam left me and went over there to you, it was like she just took everything from over there with her, and we never got any response from that point. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not accusing anybody at this point, but we're looking into this paperwork situation, and the Tom Moss's office is aware of it. The motorcycle and the car has not been sold yet.
The lawnmowers and all the tools and everything was in the garage.
That was sold, and you got your money off that. I can prove that to you, and we can pull the paperwork on that. You got $5,000, if I remember right, off of that. And Derek was here at the time that took place.
Okay.
And where the money is, I don't know, but I got the ledger and the accounts for that.
I know where the money would, where it's at. It's in the account.
Right.
But I don't know what it's for.
Because Rob came to me and he said,
or other cases.
Rob came to me and he says, hey, we're going to settle up with Gooding. We're looking at all the cases that we got here, and we're going to give them the money that they're due since Sam has left, and because Jerry's taken over, and we're starting this, and that's when they did the settlement at that point.
Are you guys still doing the federal stuff?
Nope, not unless we have we'll run across it. I mean, we're just if they come to us and ask us anything or want us to work with them, yeah, we work with them, but.
Well, I sign paperwork every month for the feds.
We're doing Ireland's case. Jerry's told them several times that Ireland, we're still the lead on Ireland, but we haven't heard anything of it.
Well, we've been to California, all over the United States chasing this Worley deal, and I've been signing the paperwork on it. How come you guys aren't doing anything?
Because I won't allow my people to be federally deputized.
Okay.
And that's the reason why. I take legal advice very seriously from Dave Sasser. And that's another reason why Sam left me, is because she came and wanted to be federally deputized, and I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I have legal advice otherwise. And you allow your people to do it.
Okay.
And that's why they're chasing all over the country with that, probably.
Okay, so all this work I've done, you still want half of that money?
What I want is what we did here, and what we've seized on the Worley case.
I think it got split right down the middle, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
what I've been told.
I don't think it did. And all I'm saying, Shaun, is we had a gentleman's agreement. We had it in writing, and the gentleman's agreement was violated, in my opinion. And we've talked to our civil attorney about it, and we're putting all the pieces of the puzzle together. We don't know how it got violated, but for some reason, the paperwork ended up differently. A 30-50 split, Shaun.
Okay. That's on the cash.
And then it went 80. No, that's the paperwork.
30-50 split on the cash on what the Fed seized.
No, it was supposed to be 50-50 according to our agreement. The thing about it is
what you're telling me right now, though, it went 30-50 on what the Fed sold, the house.
Yes, that's correct. And that's the paperwork that's at question here, because we have the original paperwork that basically said 80% after they took their money out of it.
80%.
80% is what we got, and that would have come into here, and then we would have split that with you evenly after expenses were taken out.
How much was 80%?
I have no idea. I'd have to go back and look at all the paperwork.
Okay.
But basically, that's what the deal was. And I'm just saying, Shaun, that there's been some hinky things that we found, and whether we didn't watch the closet good enough or whatever.
Well, the money that we got from you, I don't know that it was from the Worley case. I'm going to look into that, and if it was, I'll give it back to you.
We gave you I don't know how many other cases were in that 5,000, but most of it was the Worley settlement with what was sold.
When did you have that auction?
I can give you the paperwork on it. We sent it to an electronic or sent it to an auction house to get it done, and we've got every item itemized there, and it's all accounted for and what we got off of it.
Okay.
And what was split with you. Now, there might have been another case or two in there, I don't know, but we'll have to look at that. But I'm thinking that the whole 5,000 was the Worley case. It was
I don't
5,400.
5,000, but I'll look. I'll check that out. What's the date you have on that?
What's the date, Rob? About a year ago.
Okay.
Rob said he was going to take it over personally, but Joanne went ahead and mailed it over there. So
well, I'll look at our records and see if I can match it up.
So, for whatever reason, there's some hard feelings out there, and I don't know why. And
this morning I was referring back to a letter that I got from your office saying, don't come into my county unless you notify us.
Right, and that's dealing with the drug cases. That's what that is. That's what that context is in. That's what the letter is. It's on the agreement, and basically what it was saying is hey, we'll mutually work with you when we have mutual cases, and vice versa, and we'll notify you if we're going to do anything in your county as far as drugs and stuff like that. And that's basically what that letter, or the context of that letter, was written in.
Okay.
And that was written a long time ago.
Yeah, I've got a copy of it sitting on my desk still. I have 2 letters from you sitting on my desk.
Right.
Look at them every day.
And so, I'm telling you what Kelly Asani told me this morning, and he's been working on this Hedgecock. Is it Hedgecock? Yeah, Hedgecock case for over, about a year now, a little over a year and a half. And so, basically that's it. And anyway.
Okay.
All right?
All right, talk to you later.
All right, bye.